My name is Tammy Lofink. I'm the mother of Robert Lofink, who passed away on September 14th, 2014 from a heroin and oxy overdose.
Tracy Coons, and I am the mother of Ryan Coons, who was Rob's best friend and is an addict that is trying to recover but struggling.
I'm Leah and I'm Rob's sister.
I'm Megan, I'm Rob's girlfriend.
Very well liked, very funny, very active. Rob was the funny guy. Most people loved him, adults, teachers. Because everyone loved him, I think maybe he got away with a little bit more. He wasn't bad. He wasn't a bully. He would always stick up for people. He was just the funny guy.
Rob definitely was very protective of Leah. I've picked up some of that now that he's gone.
Well, he was very good with ATVs, bicycles. He could take anything apart and put it back together. He had a very natural talent to fix anything.
And we became really good friends. And for about 6 or 8 months, we were just best friends. And then, we went to prom as friends, and that night Rob asked me to be his girlfriend.
I think he was probably drinking and I didn't know it. I guess it was more in the summer of 6th grade is when he started sneaking out of the house. So he snuck out a lot.
Probably when I was in 5th grade. He used to sneak out of my bedroom one day when I was sleeping. I noticed when he started doing when he first went to rehab, I knew he was doing Percocets. I don't know what else he was doing, but I could tell he would drive me to play stuff, and I could just tell he was on something off, but he promised me he was just smoking weed, but I just knew something was off.
Robert would stick up for anybody. He always took care of people. He just was such a good person. He just got in his own way. So I drug test my son because I thought if I scare him enough, if he knows I'm going to be on top of it, he'll stop. But he just didn't.
He would come into school every day, either drunk or high, and you could just tell. He would sit at the desk, face down all the time.
So we got to the hospital, and it's about an hour or so later, the doctor came out and he put his hands on his head and said, "There's so many drugs in your son's system." And Rob agreed to go, so we took him home and we took him to rehab the next day. And that was really hard, dropping your child off at a place where you didn't know anyone.
My freshman year, or going into my freshman year, that August before I went, freshman year, he went to rehab for the first time.
Tammy and I always said that we weren't those moms that said, not my kid,
Well, we really caught it early, put him in rehab. So I was naive. I really didn't know my child was an addict. I really didn't know.
What I've learned that Ryan has told me after Rob dying is that they were doing everything, that there isn't a drug out there that they didn't try or experiment with.
And Rob actually graduated early. He thrived on the homeschool computer thing. Got a job and seemed to be doing well. And at the same time, we were taking care of my dad at my house. And like I said, he was really close to my dad. And then the last 2 weeks of my dad's life, he was in our living room in hospice. And Rob was there, and the family was surrounding him. And so he died December 5th. And I guess Rob didn't really talk much about it, but I knew it really hit him hard. He still seemed to be doing good, and 9 months after my dad died is when he died. So I went downstairs and I started making lunch, and Rob's girlfriend came over.
And Her and her mom were standing in the kitchen.
By that time, my daughter was downstairs, so we were all in the kitchen just kind of talking.
And I talked to them for a minute, and then I went upstairs to wake up Rob.
And Megan said, I'm gonna go wake him up.
So I go to the bed to wake him up. I walked closer to the bed, to his face to wake him up. He's not responding to my calls from the door, and I screamed.
And so she went upstairs, and then that's when I heard the scream like I've never heard before.
I mean, I can't even remember the scream, but I know I screamed, and she came running in, and I just remember like trying to get her out of there. Like, she couldn't see it. I didn't want anybody to see that. And there was just vomit everywhere, you know, on the curtains, everywhere. And he was laying on his arm, kind of like this. And there was just dried blood, like, all over his arm from his mouth and his nose. And he was just blue and ice cold.
I ran upstairs to his room, and by that point, my daughter was in there, and they were screaming.
Their mom was standing at the halfway coming up the stairs, and she knew. She knew what I was screaming about.
And he was at the opposite end of his bed with his face towards the window. So I didn't see his face, but I just intuitively knew.
I went back in to try to find a pulse. His neck was just so cold. So I tried to check his wrist. It was even colder. And I couldn't find a pulse. And I knew that this wasn't gonna be just another go to the hospital and get mad at him and everything would be okay. I knew it was all over. And that he was gone.
So I grabbed the wall phone and fell to the ground and called 911, and I was screaming, saying, my son's dead, you gotta come. And I just had to get away from the house. I never wanted to go back in the house, ever again. Rob's dad went in, knew he was gone because he was an EMT earlier, and pulled him off the bed, gave him CPR. So I mouthed, is he gone? And he said, yeah.
I said, Tammy, I can't understand you. What are you doing? What's going on? And all I caught was Rob's dad.
Yeah, that's it. Gone. Like that. We had him cremated, so we had the option to see him one more time. And that was a struggle for me, but I saw him. And I'm glad I did.
It would be that I love him. He'll always have a special place in my heart. And I'll never understand why he chose to do the things that he did.
Probably I'd love you even if you're a rooster. He used to have this little joke with me. And he'd go, Mom, if I was a rooster, would you still love me? And I'd go, nah. He'd go, come on, Mom. I'm like, nah, I wouldn't love you if you were, come on. So it was a little thing we had, and I don't know, I hope I did the best. I mean, I hope I was a good mom. I hope he loved me. Yeah.
I'd probably tell him that he was the best big brother any girl could ever have. I'm really lucky I got to know him. I'll always love him.
I would say it's not worth it. You have your whole life ahead of you. It's an ugly disease that you can prevent, and it destroys so much more than just yourself, your family, and everybody that loves you. It's not the type of person anybody wants to be, and you never want to get into a situation where you can't control the person you are.
They know what their friends are doing. Rob and Ryan knew that they both were in deep. But you don't want to you don't want to violate the code of the friendship, but you need to tell someone. If you think that your friend is in deep, you've got to find a way to get them help without feeling like you're betraying that friendship. I think there just needs to be a way for people to feel in a safe way that they can either ask for help or they can get their friend help.
Well, I know he used to tell me a lot of times when he would do drugs or other types of like crazy things, I guess. And I really wish I would have told my parents, because he told me so many things, but I never told my parents. Yeah, like I regret not saying something, because I feel like maybe if I told my parents earlier, they could have caught it earlier before he went into the hardcore drugs.
By September 14th, a year after Rob died, we announced our Rising Above Addiction Fund. We joined the Community Foundation of Carroll County and started a fund, and we're raising money. Rob's memorial money started the fund, and we're hoping to help people get into acute treatment, maybe, go through the detox, and we're hoping to grow our fund enough to actually send people away to treatment, and we're really excited about that. We're going to jump out of a plane on November 1st. We're both very scared of flying and afraid of heights. We're asking people to donate money to the jump, and so we're hoping to make some money. I think we're up to almost $500, and we're asking other people to do it for our fund. So,
And the run.
and the run, on June 5th, we're going to do a run, and it's going to be called Ryan's Run for Rob. We're going to do an 8K with a 1 mile kids fun run. And we just really want to help other people, and we've had the greatest opportunity to meet people to do this, to meet the state's attorney and Tim Weber and team up and try to help people. And we've been invited to a lot of events, and we've met people, and I've had people tell me that I've helped them. And I reach out anytime I hear about a child dying, whether it's a car accident, anything, suicide, drug overdose. Unfortunately, there are so many. I seek them out. I find the parents. I call them. I try to stay in touch with them, and I just wanted to turn it into something positive.